Hi, everyone, and welcome to this amazing session on co-productions. As we know, filmmaking is all about collaboration. It's all about diversity and making sure that, different voices are heard and are seen on the screen. And then what we see on the big screen reflects, who we are as a people. And today we're going to be discussing co-production, the challenges, and the pets too. So I have this amazing young woman and young man here to discuss this with us. So first is Bilal Althimni, who is the director and producer and the founder of Zone Arts Films. And next we have Djaka Souaré, who is a US-based actress and filmmaker as well. And Gabriel Agbahonou, who is from Benin, is an actor and director.
And who has killer shoes.
Oh, he's got killer shoes too, I hear. Good eye, good eye, Djaka. Yeah, but so welcome, to the panel, and I'd like us to talk about why it is important for us as filmmakers to collaborate, to have co-productions. Since you're next to me, I'll start with you, Willyam.
Hello for everyone. Thank you for AfroCannes for this chance to be here and to talk about maybe from my experience. Yeah, it's very important as a director or as a producer from Tunisia to have like co-producer for my film or to finish the film or to let's say it's about money, in Tunisia, we don't have so much fund. We have just one from the Minister of Culture. Then the cinema is very expensive. Then you need co-production, maybe from Europe, from Asia, from America, from, doesn't matter from where, then let's say to finish the film. This is the point, how you can find co-production or co-producer, and you need maybe to find them in festivals or from even little festival, and you start to collaborate. This is also as a point. It's as a co-production. It's my experience. It's I think you need to choose with whom you work. It's not just co-production. I found co-production and I will start to work. And the co-production, it means you finish the film. It means you finance the film. And what I want to say, the co-production, it's helpful. It's push to finish the film. I want to say, I have a different experience because I did maybe more than 5 feature film. I want to say, some good experience and some half, let's say.
So we'll talk about more later. But I just want to hear a little bit more from the other panelists. Djaka, I know you've done a few collaborations. I know working with you, and I know you did something with the line of Black Panther. That's amazing. Big up to you. But tell me a little bit about why you love collaborating or co-producing with other producers from other parts of the world.
Sure. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Djaka Souaré. I'm an actor. I'm a screenwriter. I'm a producer. I'm a director. I call it Something's Gotta Give. And my goal is always to create and collaborate. I started acting really early. I was a stage actor and then a musical theater. I traveled a lot, and I'm always interested into other people, other culture, That's really what drives me. And especially as I'm mixed, multicultural person, I always think that, as Ava DuVernay says, if you want to go far, you go, but if you want to go further, go with your people. So finding your family, no matter what they are, no matter where they're from, is actually paramount for me in all the projects I do. And I just want to thank Prudence and AfroCannes for putting this together, because this is where we talk to each other. This is just the places where I usually get so much fuel, because I see what everybody's doing and how everybody else is thriving. So right now, I have 2 shorts proof of concept on the festival circuit, and they're both co-production in their own ways. So one that's actually here at the short film market with on the catalog. We're having an industry screening on Wednesday night. My directors are French, but we shot in the US. So I found, I raised money, finances to put a proof of concept together. It's a proof of concept for a feature film. We did the post in France. So production in the US, post in France. It was a bit challenging sometimes. All the stories of like IPs and contracts and all of that can become quite challenging, because that's why I try to educate myself as much as possible. And then the other short that you mentioned, that was directed by Zainab Jah, who's a wonderful actor. She's in Black Panther as well. She plays one of the elders. That was her directorial debut alongside her husband, who's a DP. And our associate producer on the film is Lupita Nyong'o. Our executive producer is Denai Gurira, because we are part of a group of amazing, strong Black women who want to support us. So that came to be through a crowdfunding campaign that we did and that we shot in New York. So yeah, I think collaborating is absolute amazing, and it brings you a lot of power in your projects.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, I am in love with anyone that has anything to do with Black Panther, because I was in love with Chadwick. Yeah, but yeah, that's really great to hear all the great collaborations you're doing. Now, Gabriel, you're the man with the nice shoes. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your co-production story. What projects have you done, and how has the experience been?
Ok, moi c'est Gabriel Agbahonou, je suis réalisateur-producteur originaire du Bénin. Et
My name is Gabriel. I won't pronounce the family name. However, the name is Gabriel Kossi. He's come from Benin, and he's the director.
ok, vous savez que le Bénin, quand on parle du Bénin, on se dit c'est quel pays? On ne connaît pas trop le Bénin, c'est le pays de Djimon Oussou, d'Angélique Kidjo. Déjà, on le dit pour le rappeler. Déjà, ça c'est très important.
Those of you who don't Benin, it's the country of Djimon Oussou and also of Angélique Kidjo, right? But also the base of one of the one that was very famous last year, the World King.
Voilà, super. Donc, elle parlait tout à l'heure du film Woman King qui est basé sur l'histoire des Amazones. Nous avons de merveilleuses histoires à raconter dans ce pays, parce que c'est aussi le pays de naissance du vaudou.
In Benin, Benin is has a wonderful story, because has wonderful story to be told. We talk about the Woman King, but also Benin is the birthplace of vaudou. For everybody who comes from the Caribbean, Jamaica, and so forth, you know what it is, right?
But also, not the voodoo from Hollywood, the real voodoo. Yeah. No, I'm just mentioning, just in case.
Okay.
For the people in the back.
Okay. Il faut dire aujourd'hui qu'il y a une nouvelle génération de Béninois qui veulent révolutionner quand même les métiers du cinéma.
There's in Benin today. There's a new wave of directors and filmmakers who do actually want to change how Benin is seen on the global stage as a filmmaking country.
Ok. Et à Cannes actuellement, nous sommes une vingtaine de Béninois à venir représenter le Bénin. Je voudrais dire merci à Prudence et merci à nos partenaires l'ambassade du Bénin, l'Institut français, le FEV Création, qui ont permis ce déplacement massif de Béninois à l'international.
And this time around in Cannes, there's over 20 plus Beninese filmmakers who are present here, representing, the dirt. How do you say that? My accent. Apologies for my accent, but representing the wealth of, let's say, profiles and talent coming from Benin that has been possible through a host of partners, including the Beninese embassy in France. All right.
Ok. Maintenant, pour parler de coproduction, aujourd'hui, beaucoup de films ont besoin de coproduction pour naître. Voilà. Donc, c'est pour dire que les coproducteurs mettent ensemble leurs ressources. Parce qu'un film, c'est beaucoup d'argent, mettent leurs ressources et aussi les risques sont partagés.
Okay. So the benefit with, I guess that everybody knows here that, the benefit of co-producing is all about sharing risk, all right, or mitigating risk, all right. And it has benefits and some disadvantages. I'm just taking a shortcut. All right.
Ok. Et il faut dire que quand on fait une coproduction, ça nous permet d'élargir le marché. Parce que si on fait une coproduction Nigeria-Bénin, c'est aussi pour élargir l'éventail de diffusion.
He's actually making a call for further co-production between African countries because co-production has also that benefit of expanding market. In case, for example, of Benin, if people know where Benin is, it's a very small country. Now, if you do a co-production with Nigeria, which is a very large country, allows you to have, a wider audience of 250 million people.
Voilà. Donc, je disais aussi, en 2022, nous avons sorti notre film long métrage, Injustice, qui a été diffusé dans plus d'une vingtaine de salles de cinéma en Afrique et aussi en Europe. Et c'est pour dire que pour que ce film voit le jour, nous avons fait appel quand même à des producteurs associés de la France qui nous ont accompagnés parce qu'il y a des scènes qui ont été tournées, bien évidemment en Afrique, mais aussi en Europe. Ce qui a permis à ce film quand même de voir le jour.
Okay. Donc, c'est Injustice, c'est ça le titre?
Oui, bien sûr.
Okay. So, in 2022, they released a movie called Injustice, all right, which was a co-production between Benin and several other. That actually the movie was was a co-production between France and other, European countries and Benin, all right, and had been released in 20 or so cinema.
Yeah, theaters, right
yeah.
Cinema theaters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So go on. Yeah, continuez.
Donc, c'est pour dire que la coproduction est indispensable. Surtout pour les pays qui ont déjà des accords entre eux. Et ça permet de jouir, en fait,
So co-production is very important, especially in countries, for countries who have, let's say, co-production agreement or strategic partnership. All right. So especially in the case of Benin, I think that you have a very special relationship with France. So therefore, some doors are open to you when it comes to distribution. Am I right there? Okay. Right.
Okay. Merci beaucoup. C'est ce que je peux dire. Ouais.
Thank you so much. Now, I'd like us to talk about some of the challenges that, co-productions can pose to, producers. I know the other day I was speaking to someone and they're making a movie and there was a little bit of a conflict because the co-producer felt like the direction the director was taking was not right because he felt that people were overacting. But this other producer was saying, no, this is how we interpret the script. In Africa, we're dramatic. Right? And this other producer like, no, this is too much. Right? So right there is a problem. Difference in culture could pose a problem. Legislation, different copyright, legislation, or even, the whole concept of a difference in vision. So what are some of the challenges that you guys have faced in, co-producing with other producers from other countries? I'd like to hear your personal stories.
Yes, we have like almost like co-production, like what I have in my experience. It's sometimes you send the script, and sometimes they said, sorry, in our like they cannot finance this in our country, example in Germany or in France, because here you touch something like politics or you mention something about like for women, please in your script you don't respect women. Like you have a kind you know, and and here this is also actually it's very good and it's something positive for co-production because it's a kind advice. Sometimes co-production is not just like giving money, and it's sometimes they advise, they give you, hey, take care, because they think for the distribution later, how they can distribute the film. And this is what I want to say. The conflict or the different opinion in the script, or it's also sometimes it's something positive for push the film to see the to be exist, and yeah, and in my experience, I think I have it this like in the script something too much push the women, and as I have my wife as a co-producer, she's here also as a German part. She's a big part. They are the part in the office. Please take care here, and yeah. I mean, with the director or with the script, the right script. Yeah, this is it's for me. I see as a positive. Yeah, to know what happened in other nation, and they open in our country what we want, what we have, it's big discussion sometimes we do as a long meeting, like how we can develop not the script. Really, it's like normally it takes 3 months, sometimes takes 1 year for you be sure to finance your film or you get your fund. Yeah, this is maybe.
Yeah. And Djaka, yeah.
Talking about my experience, I think there's a couple of points that I want to touch upon. First is, it can be really challenging because in the States, whenever you find a project that you like as a producer, then you're going to try to buy the IP. So you literally buy the project from the screenwriters, which I think it should be a better way, frankly. But that's how it's done. And for my project, Cut Me If You Can, my directors are French, and they understood that because they know the industry, and it's still for a short film, but it's just not how it's done in France. It's almost like sacrilege, total. Like, no, you don't do that. Like, why would you buy this from me? But this is completely how you do it in America, because if you don't, then you don't protect yourself as a producer, because guess what happens when you find financing? They remove you from the project. So if you don't own the IP, you've got to have like the trust of, I don't know what, because even family can, whatever. But yeah, so it can be challenging. And then the second point is, this is crazy to me, but we're looking at we're getting some distribution deals, and I was listening to a big, European channel talk about what the mandate that they have. We don't have CNC. I went and got the money on my own. I didn't ask for CNC money, so I'm not eligible for their distribution. I'm like, so hold on. And that's where, something in like systems that are social, come from socialism, there's something wrong. Like, okay, so I went and did it on my own. I got the money. We made the project, and now I can't submit it to you for distribution because I don't tick the French boxes. Like, I don't see why, and I don't understand why. And the person that was asking the question at the panel, got yelled at that, well, he should have done a co-pro with a French person because da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, same thing, same shit. So there are some challenges, and then the cultural challenges that you're talking about, I think those should be completely checked way ahead. Like I had two French directors. We were shooting in California, and it was funny to see how they wanted to do something, and then the crew that was American wanted to do it another way, and then I let them go. I was like, you guys will get along. And then at some point, as they shown them, the other one understood, and they were like, okay, let's go. And then, you find a rhythm and flow. So I think the cultural or like the vision that you have for the project, that needs to be talked about way before.
Great. I want to ask you a
Sorry.
question because you're from Benin. Now, you talked about collaborating with, Nigerian producers. As you know, they say that when Nigerians show up, the show is over. So, but I mean, how do you maintain your authenticity? How do you assert yourself as a Beninese filmmaker and have your own unique identity in a co-production with, let's say, a country like Nigeria, for instance, or any other country? Because I think having that unique voice that's distinct is also important. So how do you maintain your unique identity in a co-production situation?
Déjà, ce que je voudrais dire, c'est que en termes de coproduction, déjà, il faut penser d'abord le projet du côté légal. Dès que le cadre légal est établi, on peut passer à d'autres choses.
So kind of the first answer is that first of all, we have to look at, the legalese. The legalese, meaning that the regulations and the laws and whatever that, that set the tone or the boundaries for the contract or the co-production contract or the co-production agreement. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Bon, bref. Donc, ce que je voudrais dire, c'est que ça va dépendre surtout de qui porte le projet. Est-ce que le projet est porté par le Bénin ou le projet est porté par le Nigeria?
And then it would depend on who is actually the project lead. Is it a Beninese producer or director, or is it a Nigerian producer or director?
Voilà. Donc, si c'est, par exemple, le pays qui porte le projet est le Bénin, déjà, il y a un certain respect du patrimoine, je veux dire, du droit patrimonial du projet. C'est-à-dire que le projet est écrit par un scénariste, donc qui, je crois, à l'intérieur, met un certain aspect qui est lié à la culture béninoise. Donc, je pense que à un certain pourcentage, on doit pouvoir respecter, en fait, ce qui est écrit pour quand même refléter, en fait, l'environnement culturel que nous sommes en train de projeter.
In a nutshell, he's saying that, the cultural identity or the authenticity or Beninese identity or authenticity has to be, instilled in the project, or has to be the key driver of the project to, for the next, am I right there? Je suis bon là-dedans, okay? Has to be the key driver of the project. No, please no. Has to be the key driver of the project. And that will be the first stage in terms of, let's say, moving forward, meaning that, the project has to be, completely and authentically Beninese first. Does it make sense? And the intellectual property of the project has to be owned by a Beninese. C'est bien ça, hein?
Plus ou moins, c'est plus ou moins ça. Mais ce que je voudrais dire surtout, c'est que ça se discute autour d'une table, d'accord? Ça se discute, on s'entend sur les termes, on s'entend sur ce qu'on doit montrer ou pas, afin que les deux parties puissent trouver un terrain d'entente. Voilà.
So it's all about negotiation so that both parties can find, the middle ground, if I can say so. That's it. But, cependant, t'as pas répondu à sa question qui est le Nigeria, les Nigérians, quand ils font des films, et s'il y a une question de coproduction avec un pays comme le Bénin, qui est un petit pays et qui peut-être que les apports en financement sont minimes, ils vont avaler la production. Comment? Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Parce que vous avez répondu, oh oui, il y a les droits, il y a les lois qui encadrent la propriété intellectuelle, il y a l'authenticité de l'histoire, mais si d'un autre côté, les Nigérians viennent avec l'argent, le financement complet, qu'en est-il? Comment vous faites pour vous défendre? Parce qu'ils auront la stratégie d'avaler complètement le projet.
Je vous explique. L'édition passée de l'AfroCannes, il y a une question qui m'a été posée ici, en ce qui concerne le Woman King. Parce que certaines personnes ne seraient pas d'accord avec l'histoire. Et si vous êtes béninois, vous suivez le film, vous comprenez que il y a des pans de l'histoire qui est racontée qui n'est pas totalement en accord avec la réalité des choses, des Amazones.
So, for instance, what he said, in order to answer your question, because I asked him again that, if Nigerian has the finance and go, and there is a Beninese that has a project, he's much likely to be eaten alive, if I can say so, right? Which is how you said it, all right? So now he's saying that, last year when he came here at AfroCannes, he was asked about the Woman King, which is, Woman King tells a story of kind of a Dahomey Beninese, ancient Beninese story, if I can say so. However, many Beninese didn't feel like, the story wasn't told the right way, or the many elements that were fictionalized, if I can say so. Continue?
Oui, donc, lorsque quelqu'un vient prendre ton histoire et qu'il a les moyens de le faire, il le fait selon sa vision, en fait, des choses. Mais si le projet est porté par le Bénin et par les Béninois, en fait, l'approche, la vision serait complètement différente.
Okay, so what he says here is that when it comes to, let's say, the Dahomey or the how do you call it? The Dahomey story, for instance, that is being told in the Woman King, they have the license to do whatever they do because it's their project. All right. Meaning if it means like, I don't know, some of the historical facts have been changed to fit a certain narrative or the story or whatever, they have the right to do so because they're the one doing it. They're the one, carrying it. Now, in the case whereby the project is carried by a Beninese producer, government or whatever, that identity and that the strength of that project, it's based on, it's Beninese, if I can say so.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just really similar points. Now we just have 5 more minutes, I've been told. So we're going to 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. So ask my next question. Now, earlier on we had a panel. We're talking about intellectual property and the role of government in, running the creative industry in a way that, it benefits creatives. Now, when it comes to co-production, intellectual property is very important, regulations and all that kind of stuff. Now, my question is, what can be done to ensure that producers are not stifled by regulations of countries they're trying to co-produce with? Do you think the government should be talking to each other? I know that some countries do have, treaties. Like I know Canada has a treaty with South Africa. You mentioned, France and your country, Benin. So do you think countries should be talking to each other? What role do we have as creatives to influence the policy, to our advantage?
Like in Tunisia, yeah, we have like a CNC. It's like CNC in France. Like they right now, like we work how we change some law in it, for we can like to have this support from the government or from the CNC to support the cinema Tunisia, and they do some co-fund with example with Algeria or with France or Tunisia, Argentina, something like that. And it's how we always like what I want to say. It's not clear exactly, it's the cinema. It's just example in Tunisia. It's just in the capital, and my company in outside of the capital. It's already we need to like scream to hear the government to hear us. Like we are exist. I don't know if I am sure to understood your question, but I try.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking about legislation and the challenges poses to co-productions. And I was asking if governments should be talking to each other to make things easier for creatives, or if we should be advocating for our governments to, collaborate more. Yeah, because
Yeah. It's in Tunisia, like what they say, it's we have a kind of law. It's it's a little bit we have. It's not that easy sometimes to have this kind of collaboration or co-production because how we can bring co-producer from, to example, to shoot in Tunisia. We have some Azano, it's a political way, you know. You need to be careful for it, you know, because, you know, I mean, after revolution in Tunisia in 2011, you know, it's a little bit, we have some obstacles, yeah. And right now, in this year, we start to talk about how we can please government, you know, to give law more clear, not law to make more corruption, you know, in Tunisia. It's right now this big discussion for this. You know, it's maybe need time to get out this law and to understand. Yeah, this is maybe.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the US doesn't really do co-production. They don't care. They have the monopoly of marketing and image. So yeah, but that it'll be good. Actually, I think there's a panel at the Marché du Film about that, and I was really interested. Held by Sundance, so it looks like it might change, which would be great. Tax rebates are great. Co-productions are great. So we need legislations. If I could have, you know, people from the government, from cultural embassies, attachés that had this knowledge, that would be really helpful whenever you go and do a project. That's obviously knowledge that I need to have. It's just so hard because it changes all the time as well. So I think that would be great if the government decide to invest more time, because they are the one benefiting from the filmmakers' free marketing when we shoot in a country or another. I would also love to some of those old colonizers to invest in some of the countries that they've destroyed, to reframe the fake narratives that they've created, so we can be masters of our own stories.
Ok, moi ce que je pense, c'est que surtout dans les pays, parce que je connais un peu le problème des pays africains, il y a beaucoup de choses qui sont à refaire. C'est-à-dire que, par exemple, quand je prends le cas du Bénin, il y a une certaine volonté politique actuellement de booster en fait le cinéma. C'est-à-dire que
in Benin, for example, there's the government is currently doing a lot in terms of, you know, boosting the film industry, all right, and transforming it, boosting the film industry.
Oui, donc pour asseoir en fait un cadre légal, et ils ont mis en place une agence qui s'occupe uniquement du cinéma.
Oh, okay.
Ouais.
So they created a special an agency that is in charge of, let's say, the film industry, and also to work on, you know, legislation that you just talked about that would benefit, you know, filmmakers.
Et le but personnel du président de la République, il a dit lui-même, c'est de voir beaucoup de films béninois représentés dans beaucoup de festivals, afin qu'une industrie commence à émerger. Voilà.
Okay, so it seems like the goal of the Beninese president is to see more production from Benin, and those production to be seen in international film festival in a way to boost the local film industry.
Donc, si cela s'avérait, nous, les cinéastes, on doit mettre les petits plats dans les grands pour pouvoir accompagner le mouvement. Voilà.
So, from his perspective, you know, filmmakers in Benin has to do the most to make it happen, to make the vision of the president happen. Does that answer your question?
Juste petite question, ça date de quand ça?
Ça date déjà de l'agence. Vous parlez de l'agence?
Oui, parce que le président a dit ça.
Oh non, ça date de 2 ans déjà. Oui.
Donc vous en avez pas encore vu les effets?
Non, on a commencé à voir les effets puisque les gens sont sur des festivals déjà, qui partent pour des formations, et je pense que c'est aussi l'élan patriotique qui va avec.
So the question asked here was asking when was the wish from the president, and when was the agency created? Was 2 years ago. And he asked what were the results from 2 years now. So he says that, you know, what happened is that, you know, this year in Cannes, you have 20 odd, you know, Beninese filmmaker in Benin. So this is one of the step forwards.
It would also be interesting to talk to CJ Obasi about that, because he's a Nigerian filmmaker, but he shot Mamiwata in Benin with Arnold Setohu as a producer.
Exactement.
Yeah.
Bon, je pense que je ne sais pas ce que les producteurs ici attendent pour ne pas venir au Bénin, parce qu'au Bénin il y a beaucoup d'histoires, que ce soit le roi Béanzin, que ce soit, nous on a travaillé sur un projet depuis 10 ans, ce qui est la route de l'esclave. Aujourd'hui les gens pourraient dire.
So he's asking you, why are you not going to Benin to shoot?
Mhm.
All right. So because they have not only to shoot in Benin. All right. They are. So.
Ok, super. Super. Ok. Ok, super.
So not only shooting in Benin, but also because Benin has a very rich history from the king. Yeah, so, all right. So we continue.
Donc, vous avez vu The Woman King, mais ce n'est qu'un pan de l'histoire. Il y a beaucoup d'autres histoires qui existent. Aujourd'hui, si nous on a créé notre société Morning Star, c'est pour pouvoir trouver des coproducteurs, pour pouvoir travailler sur ces histoires-là, afin de porter haut le cinéma. Voilà.
Okay, so guys, so a point here is that he actually has a production company called Morning Star, all right, based in Benin, in Dahomey. C'est
au Bénin.
C'est à Cotonou, pardon.
Oui, à Cotonou. Oui.
À Cotonou, basé à Cotonou, qui est en recherche de coproduction. How am I speaking? Sorry. which is actually looking for co-producers to continue producing content. And he said, and I quote, that you just saw Woman King. There's more to it. There's more than that there.
No,
Yeah, much more.
Not Woman King. And look how okay.
Ok.
Wow. You've got meetings, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. We just have like a minute left, or no minutes. But I just wanted to weigh in just maybe one sentence on this. I know with the, proliferation of digitization and of platforms, sorry? If the floor is open since the last session. Oh, okay. So what I wanted to ask quickly before we open the floor is that with the proliferation of digitization and all this, platforms like Netflix and all that, where do you see the future of collaboration? Just in 2 sentences each.
Yeah, I think it's positive.
Yeah, that's
Very positive.
That's the best, man. That's good. That's good. I think we're gonna all be multicultural people. We're traveling, we're mixing. There might not be any white people in 50 years, so I see it beautiful and colorful and awesome.
Ok. Moi, je pense aussi que l'avenir va être radieux. Surtout, ce que je voudrais préciser, c'est que en ce qui concerne les plateformes comme Netflix, Amazon et consorts, il y a beaucoup à faire dans les pays francophones, je veux dire africains, parce qu'aujourd'hui, ces plateformes sont ouvertes beaucoup plus aux pays anglophones. Voilà.
It's one of the challenge that he set out there. She mentioned the fact that, the streamers, there are so many streamers out there and they say that the future is bright. But however, for those people who are here who knows Africa, you have different market, the French speaking one, the English speaking one, Portuguese and whatnot. And so far, the streamers, Netflix and so forth are in English. And so recently Amazon left. So there you go. Anyway, and MultiChoice is in South Africa. And yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I won't say anything. All right. But the point is that, there's a challenge, especially in terms of, distribution option for filmmakers in French speaking countries, when it comes to their content. Ça va? Okay.
Oh, that's a big opportunity there. Yeah. So I'm going to open the floor now for people to ask questions. Okay.
Vas-y. Oui, vas-y.
Du coup, je vais parler lentement. En plus, du coup, à savoir quand même que dans 20-30 ans, la langue la plus parlée au monde sera le français.
Ah bon?
Notamment grâce, justement à l'IDH, en fait, en Afrique, l'indice de développement humain,
Ok.
en fait. Et
Les
du coup,
Africains
c'est
font
hyper
beaucoup
important.
d'enfants.
Comment?
Les Africains font beaucoup d'enfants.
Ah bah, en tout cas, non mais du coup,
Ok.
vous allez voir où je veux en venir.
J'ai mesuré le...
Et que du coup, ce que je veux dire par là, c'est que c'est hyper important d'ouvrir à la langue française. Et deuxièmement, d'arriver à un cinéma où il n'est plus question de place, parce que le problème de la coproduction, c'est l'identité, droit d'auteur. J'entends tout ça. C'est qu'en fait,
Attendez. Donc, these are some facts. So he says that according to, c'est l'IDH, hein? C'est quoi?
Ouais, l'indice de-
According to some statistics right now, in the next 30 years, there will be more French-speaking people than there are English-speaking people. So therefore, pardon?
Coming soon.
20, 30
Voilà.
years, yeah, 20 years, yeah. This is due to, how do you call it? Comment on dit IDH en anglais encore? C'est birth and lifespan and so on and so forth.
Congo, let me ask you this. Is Congo the country where there's more French-speaking people than
Oui,
French, yes?
mais moi, en fait, la seule chose que moi je veux dire, le
Oui.
message en gros,
Oui.
c'est que c'est important d'ouvrir et deuxièmement
Pardon.
que l'histoire
Mhm.
pour l'histoire
Mhm.
et que c'est moi ce qui me bloque beaucoup dans la coproduction parce que j'écris par exemple,
Oui.
c'est de devoir adapter et c'est le problème de la coproduction et c'est pour ça que je vous admire. C'est un vrai challenge de faire la coproduction.
So he's actually seems to be that he's against co-production because for him, when it comes to I'm straight. So when it comes to when it comes to co-production, you have to cut corners, to negotiate, to whatever. So for him, it actually hinders the authenticity or the story he wants to tell. Am I right there?
Ben, c'est ça.
Yeah. So he's meaning that co-production bring too many, riders in the boat, if I can say so. I don't know what is the right expression, right? So so for him, yeah, he's not really for the co-production. Sorry. So, there you go.
Et l'altérité réelle,
Ah.
c'est vraiment d'aller prendre le projet tel qu'il est, de l'accepter et de
Mm.
faire un pas vers ce projet. C'est juste ça que moi je veux.
C'est le nom de qui altérité?
L'altérité, la notion de l'altérité de l'autre. En
Ah.
philosophie, c'est en fait the real alterity in philosophy. It's to take the project 100% how it is, not to co-produce.
Yeah.
And for me, it's very important to say this because, for example, my origins are gypsies, and for example, sometimes when I look on Arte, some co-production,
Mhm.
and I for me, it's not 100%. And me, my objective is when I
Authenticity.
watch a film, I want to be in immersion absolutely 100.
Yeah.
And for me, when someone want to participate because you have money, I don't have money.
Yep.
Okay, but so accept 100% my project. And
Yeah, but
and for me,
that
No,
necessarily
no,
doesn't.
challenge
Hmm.
when we do co-production, it's how I can finance your project.
Yeah.
Would you
Well,
keep your,
well, thank
would
you
you
for
keep
that
your
comment.
IP?
But I don't think it depends on the story.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make a film about someone whose forefathers are from South Africa. They were born in Canada. They're trying to go back to their roots. So in that case, co-production is perfect because you're going to see, the best of both worlds. So I think it depends on the story. But I mean, we know who that pays, the person that pays the piper to take the tune, right? So whoever is the one bringing the Benjamins, the one's going to tell us what to do. And you don't even have to do co-production to lose the authenticity of your story. Like I just made a movie. I think it's great. Yes. Yeah. Congratulations. It's a good thing. Because you don't know how much I had to fight to keep it what I wanted. Because I wrote it and I directed it. But now I have a distributor like, oh, you have to change. I have to change. I'm like, no, but that's going to kill the story. So you're not my distributor. Sorry, I'm going to look for another one. Yeah. So I think what he's saying is very important because we're all looking alike now. Like if you watch Netflix, we're saying the same things. The movies sound the same. The songs sound the same. Like if you don't fight as creatives, very soon, we're all going to be the same. Like if you're Nigerian, don't make your movie sound American. Let it be Nigerian. If you're Beninese, let it be Beninese. Even when collaborative, it's one time you have to, yes.
I have a question here.
Yes.
I did an experiment with my mother. All right. She's a huge watcher of movies. Basically, she told me, Prudence, I want to see Black people in films. So I had to go get Netflix and all of those that she can see all the movies, the Nigerian, South African, Kenyan, and so forth. And sometimes also when she sees Eddie Murphy, she's so happy. All right. So now my mother is just, like any other, Black woman out there who wants to see herself in the stories. All right. Now, when it comes to, let's say, authenticity or not being, for example, when you watch a show like, How to Ruin Christmas, a South African show, I don't know who is, South African. She, or Jiva, which is South African as well. She loved it. She loved it. Why? Because it's at the same time authentically South African, but also authentically modern. All right. So therefore she sees herself too. And myself, I watch it. I loved it. All right. So now when she watched Nigerian movie though, she has a challenge because of, let's say, maybe the production value and some of the things that she doesn't resonate with, but she resonates more with a South African movie that, if you get my drift, because when you're talking about authenticity, it depends on what
where you position yourself, because it's also about a matter of, let's say, what you expect in a film. She watched, for example, Blood Sisters. All right. She find it interesting, but she preferred to watch, for example, something like, I don't know, Single Life or whatever. It's a lot of South African, film that she sees because of production value. So I don't know how.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think that what we have to, put up online and distinctively talk about is audience. Who is your audience? The people that love the Nigerian movies are there. The ones that love this one kinds of movies are there, right? So if you know your audience, then you speak to them. I believe if you don't like what I'm doing, it's not for you. I take the constructive criticisms, but then if it's trying to destroy the core of the message or what I'm trying to, kind of sell or to speak about in the film, then I will be like, okay, it's not for you. But if you're giving me ideas that can help, the things to be better, fine. But I think we have to talk about audience, because the people that I don't like the shouting Nigerian movies, but yeah, it's true. I don't like the screaming and overacting kind of stuff, but the people that love it. Some people, I'm telling the people that be like, oh my God, this lady can act, but no, she's overacting for me. But I think there's an audience for everyone. And once we know that, I think we'll be more creative and not be afraid to do what we want to do as creative people.
Question that I have for all of you. What do you consider acting local and thinking global?
Can I say one thing about that? Yeah. About co-production and all that stuff? I think what we have to do is really look at
à 18h, mais on a ça jusqu'à 7h.
Oh,
c'est bon.
That
40.
Okay. That are executed locally and that have exported themselves very
Non, c'est bon, on le laisse. Comme c'est la dernière session.
I
C'est la
like
dernière session. C'est bon.
I like the story, I like the acting. And if you look at Hong Kong,
10 minutes alors, c'est bon, apprenez pas.
That's 100% Hong Kong. There's no whatsoever thinking, oh, I'm going to adapt this and the guys are going to be white and they're going to talk like this, they're going to wear suits. It's Hong Kong. Chinese movies are like strict Chinese movies, and they've managed to export themselves very successfully in a language that I don't fucking speak. I do not speak Chinese. I've watched hundreds of Hong Kong movies because of it's another world. And I don't see myself in it, but I could connect with it. And using that same model, I could make a Benin movie, and I'll guarantee you it can be seen in the US or in Norway and be completely interesting.
You know what?
That's what I think the objective is for us. It's not to be pigeonholed. Oh, my thing has to cater to both Nigerians and, change the, no.
It's like
make your film.
It's like Afrobeat.
And
we stuck with it long enough. Now everybody loves it. Yeah.
Point made. Point made.
Guess what?
We
will see
it's boring. It doesn't sound like anything.
It's already that hip hop.
When I started today listening to Burna Boy, I was telling my daughter, I'm like, oh my God. They play Burna Boy here because we stuck with it long enough. Yeah. So I said to you,
but to your point,
diverse.
To your point,
different
keep on making those Nigerian shouty movies. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. They have markets. They have their audience.
Of course. That's the difference between local audience and having the capacity.
On peut poster. Everybody makes content for international audience.
On peut couper. Vous pouvez commencer un truc. Ils vont
I actually consciously made up my mind that it was going to be diverse. Mm-hmm. Until I found a Chinese person I couldn't shoot. Because I wanted to have Indian, Chinese, black, white in the film, like main characters. So it's your agenda. And that's because I believe in diversity and I wanted to tell a story that was diverse. But there's another story I'm working on that's completely going to be authentic to a different audience. So I think we should think about audience and we should think about that should be on Netflix. And I think Netflix has to stop this. I see some Nigerian movies or some African movies on Netflix. I feel like this is not for this audience.
Why? Why shouldn't it be? Because I watch. Same here. We grew up watching Chinese movie, Korean. Tell you something. Do you know that Ethiopia? They are the one who watch Korean movie even before it was a big trend. All right. Same with Brazilian. So how come?
I'm also talking about in terms of quality and all that kind of stuff, and not necessarily the cultural, thing. I feel like there's a way that you know, you would want to be represented.
Just a second. Guys, are you okay if we cut this filming so they can write, but we can continue the discussion here if you want.
Sorry, I'm not going to say anything more.
I think it comes to like two things is Scorsese says the more personal, the more universal. And then I have a friend filmmaker who's a lawyer now at Blumhouse. He says, I don't want them to put me in all of their movies or just like put a black guy walking down the street in a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
I want his budget to make my money.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between diversity and inclusion.